Wow. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to this final hour. I can't believe it. And yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this last hour as much as I possibly can, because I'm probably never going to experience anything like this again. And by that, I mean, obviously, working with you, Craig, as well. All right. So we're in the final stages, the final stage, I would say, the final hour. And as I was saying earlier, if there's anything that you've missed, you don't need to be worried, you don't need to be stressed. You can find all the replays on the platform. You can catch up on everything that's already happened. Craig, you spoke a little bit again before about the post-event activities, lots still to come. Yep. So even though...
Community.sap.com.
Exactly.
Yep.
So even though we're coming to the end of the hour here in the house on Channel 1, there is still so much more to come. So, and also, as we come into the executive Q&A now, in just a second, we'll be welcoming our guests for that. Just a quick reminder that you can find more about all of the announcements that were made this year at sap.com/teched-news. And you can check out all of the announcements. You can see which ones were talked about in the keynote. They're marked with a little star. You can jump from the content there also directly to more information. There's blogs and documentation, or blog posts, as I have learnt this week from my colleagues at the community. You say blog post, not blogs. But joining us in a second will be, as I mentioned slightly earlier, 6 lovely, lovely guests. We're going to have topic experts covering all sorts of things from AI integration, SAP S/4HANA, SAP Cloud Platform, and of course, our Executive Board member and CTO, Juergen Mueller, as well. So don't forget, keep submitting your questions. You can do so on the platform. I think the session starts in 2 minutes and 46 seconds, according to what I can see down here. So that's when you can start to put your questions in. Also, follow us along live, please, on social media. It'd be lovely if you would join us for this final hour on social media as well. The hashtags are, Craig?
Hashtag SAP TechEd and hashtag SAP Community.
Ding.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. But for now, let me please welcome our guests. I'm very excited. I'm always excited about the Q&As, but I'm particularly excited for this one because we have all 6 speakers. I'm going to give you a quick rundown now who they are once again. I think they're coming in any second, but they are Juergen Mueller, our CTO and SAP Executive Board member for the area of technology and innovation, Michael Ameling, Head of Intelligent Enterprise Program and Cross-Product Architecture, Philipp Herzig, Head of Product Engineering, Intelligent Enterprise and Cross-Architecture at SAP, Fei Yu, Global Head of Artificial Intelligence at SAP, Stefan Batzdorf, Head of Cross-Product Architecture for SAP S/4HANA, and Jan Schaffner, Head of SAP Cloud Platform Foundational Plane. And there they all are. Hello.
Welcome.
It's always great when I turn around and you're already on the wall. Hello. Thank you so much for being with us, and welcome for the final time to the SAP TechEd House and here on Channel 1. Thank you so much. So, Juergen, 2 days ago, it was only 2 days ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago, I asked you what you were most looking forward to. And now I'm going to make it really hard for you again, and I'm going to ask you what have been your highlights so far. But I won't be mean, and I won't reduce it to 3. So please tell us what have been your highlights of SAP TechEd 2020.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, 48 hours of content. And if you remember, I said, hey, everyone, please make use of all these learning opportunities, try things out, and become a member of the community and engage. And I have to say now, 47 hours later, that from all the numbers we see, that you actually did make all of that. So I'm super excited. I had, I don't know, maybe 28 hours or so, I had Channel 1 open. And that was really amazing to see. So all the great content, and also I have to give a super big shout out to Beth, Craig, and all the other moderators, because you are doing that in such professional way. And it's so easy to follow. And it's so great that you guide all the people watching through this program just amazing. So thanks a lot, everyone, for engaging. And yeah, I think that was, for me, very special. I have to say, the best TechEd ever, because we could reach so many people.
That is so true. Thank you so much, Juergen. So I'd like to ask all the rest of you as well what your highlights have been. Maybe moving along, Stefan, to you. What do you think? What's been? I'll make it one highlight per person. What's been your major highlight?
In terms of, I mean, it was, as Juergen said, amazing in TechEd, but in terms of SAP S/4HANA, one highlight was also to see our investment in the industry cloud with the new functionality on retail consumer products and also automotive and manufacturing, and our way regarding sustainability and the new product about Climate 21. So watch out what is coming next year.
Yeah, that was a great presentation about Climate 21. I think it was with Gunther Roth-Ermel, right? I saw a presentation about that.
Correct.
Okay, Jan, what about you? What's been your highlight?
I think for me, clearly the developer keynote, right, with DJ, Rich, and Kevin, you know, really showing how you basically bring developers together, working across the different runtimes in Cloud Platform, Kyma, Cloud Foundry, and ABAP in different languages, you know, using messaging, using APIs, using events, using Ui5. Fantastic hands-on sprint review session. Recommend watching.
Perfect. I'll pass that feedback on to DJ Adams if he's not already watching.
Sure he is.
Okay, and Michael, what about you?
Yeah, so from my side, I mean, there have been a lot of sessions, and we had a lot of great Q&As actually, where we went into very challenging questions, and this was very interesting. But the highlight for me is that these questions continue. So a lot of people approached me even afterwards, and we are in continuous interaction. And this is what we want, to engage directly with you. And this is, of course, a very good highlight.
Yeah, totally. Faye, over to you. What's been your highlight?
Yeah, I also very excited because use this TechEd, we are able to introduce our AI strategy, infusing our intelligence into our enterprise solutions. And based on this, we have also very interesting conversations and QA sessions with our analysts. The question yesterday, the session was very deep, and it seems the market is really interested in our intelligent enterprise solutions. I'm very excited.
I know someone else is really interested in the strategy talk that you gave yesterday as well. That's Craig. You were very interested in the AI topic and injecting that into the solutions. We were talking about that yesterday. Okay, and finally, Philip, your highlight, please, of SAP TechEd 2020.
Yeah, first of all, it's amazing how many people have actually joined TechEd, and I'm very thankful for all the people around the world who could enjoy, hopefully, the greatest program that they can receive on SAP technology in 2020, despite all the different circumstances that we are all in. So that was really an amazing thing to see. And specifically, of course, I was also, my personal highlight was specifically on the tech side, how much of the integration we actually moved forward in 2020 with clearly delivered results on clear processes and integration scenarios that we have developed, shipped with the most recent releases, but also documented consistently now for our customers. And all the feedback we are receiving is just tremendous how much we are progressing there. So that is really great to see.
Yeah, that is great. Thank you so much. So I can already see there are millions and millions of questions here. So let's get straight into it. The one I can see here with the most votes. Oh, this is a good one. I'm going to give this one to you, Juergen. Is SAP going to offer this type of TechEd in the future?
I think we received so much positive feedback on this event. So therefore, we will have an online event, and then we need to figure out how to do that best, because we also got as feedback that having something like this plus an optional on-site capability as well, such that also people can meet in person, would be the best combination. And however we do it, it is not planned. We will, of course, go through all the feedback we receive for this event here. And then however we do it in 2021, we hopefully can make it even better with some slight adjustments and potentially also an offline presence. Stay tuned, but we are very happy because it also was new for us. It was completely new. No one did anything like this before in this size, also none of the other tech events, and we are very happy. So thanks, stay tuned, and we will continue to leverage online capabilities as well to reach all of you.
Perfect, thank you, Juergen. Okay, the next question, I have to admit, I'm not entirely sure who, I'm sure you're all capable of answering it, but I'm not sure who I should give this one to. But it says, what is the future of custom SAP Ui5 development? Do you want to fight over it, or are there any volunteers?
I'm happy to share my perspective. So with Ui5 development, we have a toolkit, right? So you can basically consume very high-level tooling where you basically build whole screens based on metadata, but you can also work on individual component level, right? And in the past, obviously, and we're still doing that, you can work with individual Ui5 controls. But since you're asking specifically about what the future looks like here, I think you should check out Ui5 Web Components. So it's on GitHub, and it really gives you the opportunity to have, let's say, embedded data picker into your site as easily as basically putting an HTML tag into your code. And you can, of course, also modify these components. So I think I see a lot of potential and put a future in that one.
Okay, thank you, Jan. The next question, I think, Juergen, I will give this one to you as well. It says, what are the projected new customers base for SAP Data Warehouse Cloud and SAP Analytics Cloud tools for SAP in 2021? How is SAP planning to differentiate with similar tools available in the market?
Yeah, we do have a complete offering for the whole data to value chain. And that comes from HANA and HANA Cloud to Data Intelligence Cloud, Data Warehouse Cloud, and SAP Analytics Cloud, including planning capabilities. And here, what we see, what our customers value a lot is that this is basically like 4-in-1 chain of information from database to semantical modeling to also the BI side. And in our analytics cloud, actually, we combined not just self-service analytics, but also predictive and planning. And what we, maybe the question goes a little bit in this direction, what we also enable is that if you have an on-premise solution from SAP for BI or also data warehousing, then we enable that you can make use of your content that you have there and bring that to the cloud product as well. And last but not least, Philip alluded to it already. So Philip and Michael work a lot on our integration of also technology in our applications. So we will continue to embedding SAP Analytics Cloud into all our solutions, our cloud solutions. And therefore, we will see a huge new customer base because we are reaching a lot of new customers. And we want to make life for those customers very easy because of that embeddedness. And then, of course, it's very easy to also use predictive capabilities and planning capabilities. And what we get back from customers as well is that they like having this data to value chain in SAP control because they can be assured that security, governance, auditability, semantics, all of that is a given. And with HANA Cloud, we now also give the capability to connect third-party data from other data stores there as well.
Perfect, thank you, Juergen. So the next question, I think, is for Faye. And that question is, what is the future of SAP Conversational AI?
This is a really important question. As we know, artificial intelligence contribute to the natural human-machine interaction, right? Natural language is a very efficient and natural way for communication between humans and computer and solutions. For SAP, the conversational AI, on the one hand, we have a conversational AI platform, which really provide a very comfortable platform, let our customers build customer support. And on the other hand, for enterprise conversational AI solution, it must be task-driven, right? We have perhaps tasks in order to help contact center and answer the questions in order to deal with the customers, and then we have to this will increase the efficiency and the consistency of the questions and answers, the quality. Perhaps for this solution, the chatbot have to work with the contact center human agent together. On the other hand, also conversational AI digital assistant can help to improve the efficiency of the navigation and transaction and the search. And the conversational AI solution of SAP, this is a hybrid solution. On the one hand, we have the platform. On the other hand, we have deep solutions in order to fulfill the task-driven digital assistant for our enterprise content.
Okay, thank you very much, Faye. This next question is quite an interesting one, quite a broad one. Maybe it goes to all of you. What is the technology that we didn't see but is in the pipeline? Let me start with Philip. Any ideas from your side? Anything that we didn't see that could still be coming?
Well, I think it's best if we hand this over to Jan, because I think there's a flurry of things that are happening in his area.
All right.
Jan?
Yes, thanks, Philip. So let me maybe highlight one particular area. So we have covered our activities around the one domain model in this event, and also in the developer keynote, we have seen events and how we use them for development, and we will evolve that and make the value proposition much larger, right? So we'll take basically now ODM already as a basis for many things that are happening in SAP to SAP integration out of the box. So for example, that every system shares the same workforce person employee model between, for example, S4, SuccessFactors, and Fieldglass. But we also want to leverage that for extension development. Now, we will get to a point where, for example, an application like SuccessFactors would emit an event like workforce person probation period ended. And you would be able to subscribe it on our message bus, and then basically have that trigger a function that you then use to write a particular code snippet that extends a particular part of the business process around basically this event in the employee's life cycle. And then it's about writing back. And last year at TechEd, we talked about SAP Graph already. This is also something we continue to work on, where you then have the ability to take action and write back something HR related or an additional aspect around this workforce person to essentially move the business process along. And we'll integrate these domain model artifacts also up the stack in our higher level offerings, in our editors, in the activities where we go more into a low-code, no-code area. You'll also see these things as a first-class citizen.
Okay, great.
I think also to add here, everything that we develop on the, what you call it, kernel services or suite qualities is very, very important to everything. For example, in suite qualities, when, as Jan said, the one domain model or the one workflow inbox, or it's about harmonizing the user experience with Fiori across all applications and products and working on a deep integration on business process level. This is something that's it's not a feature that we can sell, but it's integral and very important for all the kinds of customers that run our SAP solutions.
Okay, thanks for adding on there, Stefan. Okay, the next question is another analytics question.
Let me add two more things.
Of course.
One is that we are currently working on a way, and Diana and my keynote showed it very briefly, but to, in a privacy-preserving way, understanding much better what users are doing in the different SAP systems. And then, of course, connecting that to the improvement of business processes. And then maybe one which is much further out, but also an interesting topic here for TechEd. We are working on how to quantum secure S/4HANA, for example, and our other solutions. So what needs to be done, assuming at a certain point in time we would have a quantum computer in order to still then be secure enough with our enterprise application.
Wow, that's very exciting to hear. Okay. Oh, the questions have changed slightly since I last looked at them. It says, I don't see any major new features, so can I assume that SAP Cloud Platform has entered a mature phase? Jan, is that a question maybe for you?
Yeah, I mean, so yes, SAP Cloud Platform has entered a mature phase, but nevertheless, we have a lot of innovation coming. So, I mean, looking back at this year in May, we've launched, for example, the SAP Cloud Platform Extension Factory Kima runtime, which addresses the cloud native developer. It has also been featured. We're extending this more. We also take our Cloud Foundry offering to the next level as the community evolves to Kubernetes as the universal underlay. We will add a couple of interesting features in this respect. I already touched on the importance of the domain model. We're also doubling down on what we call the one event bus. So we'll broaden the scope of enterprise messaging from a, let's say, exactly once in order delivery approach to also adopt a more log-based approach, which will allow customers and partners to write scalable cloud-native applications around that. Yeah, and I guess we also have a backlog of exciting things that we are not yet ready to talk about, but rest assured, we have some good stuff coming.
Okay, great. And I know in the TechEd news guide as well, there are announcements there around Cloud Platform. Cecilia is always very excited about everything to do with with the Cloud Platform announcements. Okay, we have a Fiori question as the next one that I can see here. Fiori, when to see, okay, now I'm going to have to show my ignorance here. I'm not deep in the topic of Fiori. When to see VA01 and ME21N as pure Fiori apps. Can you help me out there?
These are transactional codes. VA01?
VA01.
So VA01 and MTN1?
ME21.
ME21?
Thank
All
you.
right, so...
I can take it if you like, but...
Wonderful. VA01 is
so
sales
yeah, it's a nice question from the classical ABAP guys with a transaction. VA01 is a transaction to create sales orders. ME21 is especially in the procurement area. So when will we develop pure native Fiori apps on replacing VA01? I would say never, because it's not our strategy to do this to replace a classical Gooey app. What we develop is, our strategy is when we develop Fiori apps, we evolve them into new kinds of processes and evolve them into the end-to-end business processes. So we have several Fiori apps to create sales orders. We are currently working also on a machine learning app to automatically create sales orders out of PDF, Excel files, something that comes from web shop orders, to really help the end users to automate tedious tasks. VIO1 is available also not as a native Fiori app, but with a Fiori layout. So for the power user, they can still work in this kind of app. But the strategy is really to evolve Fiori, to bring intelligence into the Fiori app, also to bring predictive analytics, decision support into the Fiori apps. ME21N is currently split into 7 individual Fiori apps, targeting at the various users and lines of business that work in the procurement area. So this is also our way forward and strategy for all others, be it in finance, digital supply chain, logistics, etc.
Perfect. Well, I just learned something about Fiori, so thank you very much.
I have a new highlight for this event. That is fantastic to hear.
Okay, and staying on the Fiori track, what is the future, or what are the future enhancements for Fiori? Maybe Stefan, back to you for that one.
Definitely. I can also shortly answer, but also I think Jan and Michael can chime in. On the SAP S/4HANA side, on Fiori, we focus really on automating the Fiori development with Fiori elements. So whenever you see an S/4HANA complex Fiori application with tables, with chart bars and search input fields, etc. So this is a Fiori element UI, so a template. You can use this, you plug in your database, you plug in your business services via your OData services, and then the UI is mainly 80% generated. You need to your means. But with Fiori elements, and this especially also with the controls, it is quite more easier in future to develop Fiori applications. We in S/4HANA, we use the same to develop new functionalities here.
Did anybody want to add?
And maybe just to maybe just to add also, as part of what Stefan said, what is also coming, and we showed it in some of the extensibility sessions when we look also at the new Fiori elements and some of the new capabilities, right? It's still this meta model-driven approach that gives you a lot of the UI for free, right? Just based out of metadata, for example. But at the same time, we listen very carefully because we know that a lot of differentiation and great new capabilities are only possible if you can still easily break out of the meta-driven, model-driven approach from Fiori, so that it's very simple to enhance it with UI fragments coming. For example, we had the freestyle Ui5 question where you can easily embed your own controls into it, generated out of the box Fiori application much more easily using fragments, for example. So there's a lot more to come also for the Fiori universe going forward.
There's clearly a lot of interest in the Fiori topic because I can see at least 4 or 5 questions in front of me with the word Fiori in them. Sticking with the Fiori topic, it says, with the retirement of SAP Fiori client on mobile device, does SAP provide mobile device scanning natively in its Fiori apps that includes scanning icons?
Yeah, I don't know, Philip or Michael, if you want to comment. If not, I can as well.
Well, I'm not aware, but maybe Philip.
Yeah, I can. Just also to explain to the broader audience what is going on. So SAP offers a native or an app on mobile devices, on the Play Store, also on the App Store. And that Fiori app was a way to bring our Fiori applications to you. But what we saw and over the years how technology developed is that actually 99% of the capabilities can be done by a browser on a mobile app now as well. And actually, so it's here, 2D barcodes and scanning actually is one of the capabilities that cannot be covered in the browser yet. That's why the question is coming up here in the community. And if that is the case, if your application, and that's why, because these capabilities are not needed anymore, over time we will be pulling this Fiori app from the app stores. And if you need the capability of scanning, we still have the SDK such that you can build also native Fiori applications, and there you can enable scanning. But we saw that too many users were actually suffering with this hybrid app that we provided, and over time it was not necessary anymore. So therefore, please reach out to us in case you are in such a situation. where you do need 2D barcode scanning, for example. It's all still possible. We don't support it with this hybrid app that causes more frustration for many users than necessary.
Okay, thank you for that, Juergen. It was clearly an important topic because I think that question came up a couple of times in different forms. So back on my home turf here, and with abbreviations that I understand, that is how far, brackets, timeline, the SAP Business Intelligence / Business Object Suite will coexist with a SAC. So in other words, how long will the Business Object Suite coexist with SAC, SAP Analytics Cloud? So Juergen, I would give that one to you.
Yeah, I can be very quick. So we have a standing maintenance commitment out until 2027 for Business Object Enterprise. And we are already today, with the latest version of Business Object 4.3, building the bridge such that from SAP Analytics Cloud, you can consume content that you have built in Business Object. So therefore, that is the way to go. Most innovation will happen in the cloud. Until 2027, we have a maintenance commitment out for Business Objects on-premise as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Juergen. So this next question is also quite general, and I'm sure you all have an opinion on this, but I'm going to start with Juergen, and maybe you would all like to chime in as well if you have anything to add. It says, as an ABAPer, what should be my career path? Juergen, any recommendations?
Yeah, super quick. First of all, you can be proud to be an ABAPer. And if you want to go more into web development, I would recommend the Cloud Application Programming Model CAP for you.
Perfect. Any other recommendations?
Maybe, yeah, definitely, definitely. ABAP is not dead, also not in the SAP universe, but you should evolve. Your career is still in ABAP, but hopefully in the ABAP cloud environment on the SAP Cloud platform. So we brought out a new there's also a new language version you can switch on in the kernel. It's called language version 5. So you can also check, and there's new compiler and new language statements. So your future is still ABAP, but ABAP Cloud. We will also develop ABAP-based business applications in the ABAP Cloud on the SAP Cloud platform. You should also do it. Move your extensions, move your custom code towards ABAP Cloud environment on SCP. Check it, and then you're future safe.
Thank you very much. Any other recommendations from the team?
I can only second Stefan's recommendation to take a look at the ABAP environment for cloud platform, which we internally call Steampunk. So it is a first-class citizen runtime, and with this rep tooling, REST clients and so forth, you can basically use your ABAP skills to write extensions that use the same mechanisms as I've described before, like listening to events, calling APIs, and so forth. So I believe as an ABAPer, you like however long your career still lasts, I'm sure you have lots of work.
And that also speaks to the openness of runtimes. So as you saw in the developer keynote, from an ABAPer to a coupler to a cloud native developer, all working fine, and we make sure that this also works smoothly together.
Perfect. Thank you very much. The next question is about JavaScript. It says, as I see, major developments are being done in JavaScript. Can we assume that JavaScript is the future in SAP as well? Who would like to take that one?
Yeah, so JavaScript is certainly a part of the future. I mean, there's no, it's certainly not the future as in, it's probably not the ABAP of tomorrow or something like that, but we just have to acknowledge that both in the front end and in the back end with the ever-growing Node community, JavaScript, plays a significant role. Across the whole stack, it's very relevant. We, basically embrace that. You see that also materializing in a lot of tooling, like CAP, for example. It's definitely a part of our future, but I guess it's definitely a pragmatic and also non-exclusive choice.
Thank you, Jan. Okay. The next question, Juergen, I'm going to give to you. It's about the future of SAP Leonardo. And I know we've spoken about this before. It says, what's the future of SAP Leonardo? Is it getting replaced by something new?
Yeah, and I can open and then hand it over to Faye as well. We as SAP established the brand SAP Leonardo in order to highlight intelligent technologies like machine learning and AI. And then with the that actually grew into the intelligent enterprise that we are now all following. And we see that these technologies are now pervasive into everything we do. And that's why we also decided to actually sunset the brand SAP Leonardo. And Faye, you can give us a glimpse into the new world.
Yeah, thank you, Juergen. I think as we observe, right, AI is in our everyday life already. And many of us use Google search, Google machine translation, use mobile phones. This similar development will go to the enterprise AI solutions, right? And the AI will be part of our everywhere in SAP, in our business process, in our solutions. If you listen to our AI strategy and also keynote talk of Juergen, for our SAP AI strategy, our focus is embedding and infusing AI in our SAP application. This included Leonardo technology developed before, like conversational AI, like AI business services, and also training, inferencing, lifecycle management. Also, we want to bring the technology into our business process for automation, monitoring, optimization, and planning and forecast. Therefore, the continue of Leonardo's vision and innovation will be our SAP's enterprise AI solutions.
Thank you, Faye. Thanks for that clarification. Okay, the next question is, what is the future of Gooey? I'm again not entirely sure who's the best person to ask for this one. Please volunteer.
I can start.
So
Gooey still exists, definitely in S/4HANA on-premise, but as we not cloud only in S/4HANA, and Gooey is not really cloud safe on a distributed environment, and also from the web features. We develop our user interface in Fiori. So Gooey still exists for the classical on-premise or any premise businesses. But in the cloud, the focus is definitely on Fiori. Also, when we provide end-to-end services across S/4HANA into SuccessFactors, Concur, Fieldglass, and these products.
Thank you. Would anybody like to add anything?
I can continue with some vision, right? Artificial intelligence, you know, the conversational user interface, multimedia, multimodal. I think for the future of SAP, we will have not only perhaps graphical user interface, we will have also voice, text, and images, and this will be the future for the future user interface, right?
Thanks, Faye. The next question I can see is, it's actually quite nice because it's about S/4HANA and intelligent tech, which nicely mirrors the strategy talk from Stefan and Faye as well. It says, is the future of S/4HANA development moving towards cloud integration, AI, ML, machine learning, and blockchain? On-premise S/4HANA instance, how are these integrated with AI, machine learning, and blockchain? Stefan, I'll start with you for that one.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and you really, whoever posed the question, you got it, definitely. So the focus on S/4HANA development is really cloud first, but not cloud only. We have a single code line, we develop new features, bring it out in the cloud. It is really our focus on integration to connect the various products, because we live in future in a hybrid environment, connecting applications on sub-cloud platform with provide an end-to-end process. So focus on integration is there. It is our focus to embed AI and machine learning everywhere in all the kinds of business processes. Year to date, S/4HANA provides 256 AI applications and use cases. It's native machine learning, predictive analytics, situation handling, conversational AI, etc. And as we develop this for the cloud first and bring it out in the cloud, and we have one code line, it's also available for our on-premise customers. Yeah. So wherever you run your S4HANA, whether it be it in the public cloud, in the private cloud, or as any premise, you benefit from these native integrated features.
Perfect. Thank you, Stefan. Okay, I think this next question, Juergen, I'll start with you for this one. How does SAP view the recruitment challenges of new developers into the SAP ecosystem, competing against what this person has called the cool stacks?
On two sides. On the one hand side, it depends, especially today, on what your impact can be. And yes, you can go somewhere and optimize clicks for social media, for example, or you can have real impact on real businesses and on real humans. And therefore, when we, for example, opened up positions for ABAP a couple of years back and did that like in 100 at a time, and we got so many great applications. And that was exactly that, because the purpose of SAP and working in the SAP environment is so high. And the second answer I want to give is exactly the runtime discussion that we had. Because today, now you can be a cloud native developer and still you can access the SAP ecosystem. And we like to think in end-to-end processes. So if you think about a lead to cash process, for example, there are so many things that need to be done. And actually now you can access SAP much easier with all the innovations that Philip, Jan, and Michael described.
Okay, thank you, Juergen.
Maybe just to,
Sure.
no, just maybe to quickly add to what Juergen said, right? At the end of the day, it's all about developer choice and really coming together, right? Whether you're fancy ABAP or Java, JavaScript, and being rather a cloud native developer, at the end of the day, those various stacks also benefit a lot from the integration enablers we are doing, whether it's APIs, whether it's events that Jan just explained. Those are actually the points where those worlds are converging and are coming together, and you can really build great solutions. Yeah, we are talking about microservices, for example, on the cloud platform. And here, whether it's a team maybe that rather is savvy and ABAP can use, for example, the ABAP environment and cloud platform, but that also works, of course, nicely with another team working on a JavaScript, a Java service, for example, integrating over the various technologies that the business technology platform and the SAP cloud platform provide. And by this, I think we can blend seamlessly back and forth, no matter what the runtime actually is, but our integration success factors. So this makes it really easy to make the runtime discussion independent from where the content and the business value actually is, and then decide the technology really based on the team's capabilities and have a decoupled view at this.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and that goes as far as in Phase World. You can work on your Jupyter notebook, and the result you can then bring together with your SAP data and integrate machine learning. So it really speaks to the many developer personas that we also talked about.
Yeah. Going back to that topic of the developer personas again. Okay, I have to admit, every time I look at the laptop, there's a different question in position number 1. So votes keep changing all the time. How do you see the SAP BW for HANA future? Is this technology, or will this technology remain core of SAP enterprise warehousing, or is it going to be replaced? Juergen, I'll go to you for that one.
Yeah, BW for HANA remains a strategic part of our portfolio and of customers' hybrid landscapes. And we will increasingly complement that with self-service warehousing capabilities with Data Warehouse Cloud. And here again, we make it easy for our customers to continue with the rich capabilities that a BW has, and it really has a lot of capabilities and is really powerful. But we also see more and more the need, like for self-service BI, the need for self-service data warehousing. And that's why we build Data Warehouse Cloud. For example, if you want to have a tightly governed financial data, for example, centrally governed, but then you can provide that data into certain spaces, and departments of your company can then add third-party data, for example. And that is something that we have in place with many customers, like also Porsche, for example. And they are very happy because same like with IT, also in that area, it's very hard to drive to be quick and agile, and we want to help customers being quick and agile. And Data Warehouse Cloud with the connection to BW for HANA is the perfect solution for that from our side.
Okay, thank you, Juergen.
Maybe let me maybe add one comment to that, since we also got this question quite often in the context of the intelligent enterprise and how this is covered. And here actually we just released actually a good paper, which is the integration architecture guide for cloud and hybrid solutions, where you also find a reference. How does this play into the big picture and how you do basically the integration. So this just released. So I think this is a good reference to get the big picture.
Perfect. Thank you for that extra tip. Okay, we have another question here about kind of career advice. What is the future of SAP basis consultant, given everything is moving to the cloud? Should we pursue hyperscaler technologies? Thoughts on that? Juergen, I would go to you again for your advice, and anyone else who wants to chime in, please do.
Yeah, Jan mentioned it, that ABAP doesn't go away, and also basis consulting needs will not go away that far. Of course, you can always apply at SAP as well, because sure, we will also help our customers in going more to the cloud. And then your question probably goes in that direction. If you're a basis consultant, more work goes to the cloud offerings and the companies offering those solutions. So therefore, yes, there will be a slight shift, but also that will take many, many, many years to come, because there will be still many, many on-premise installations as well. So therefore, as we had before, continuous learning, continuous education, and then you and your colleagues will continue to be very successful. And as I said, it also means that companies like in SAP will need more basis consultants as well.
Thank you, Juergen. So learning very...
Maybe if I can build.
Of course.
So you can also, add a lot of value in that transformation to the cloud, obviously. So the problem or the interesting problem statement as we move S4 and other applications to the cloud is, of course, modifications. And what do customers do to basically, do the required, customization, extensions, and so forth. And here again, if we look at what's coming in this ABAP environment for the cloud and Steampunk, we are moving to a state where many of these extensions then will also be happening or be possible for customers to be made in this ABAP language, which has a reduced instruction set to make it somewhat easier. But then also you can study what whitelisted APIs are available. And here your basis knowledge should be very useful to basically look at how you work around these interfaces to build customer extensions that are, so to speak, upgrade safe, right? And that requires a lot of context, a lot of knowledge. And if you're coming from that space, that's a great way to apply your skills going forward.
All right. Thank you so much, Jan. I'm aware we only have 1 minute left, and I do want to just kind of sum things up. One thing that came across very, very clearly there was obviously the topic of learning again and again and again. We've heard that throughout this event. This is, of course, TechEd. The clue is in the name. I said it on the first day, I'll say it on the last day. Juergen, I want to give the last 30, 40 seconds to you. This is your big event, your big keynotes. What would you like to say to the audience? I can't hear Juergen.
That's always if you want to be so respectful and mute yourself. Of course. So I wanted to thank every one of you for participating on our platform, but also on social media. It was so amazing to see so many familiar faces and new faces contributing to SAP. And I'm already looking forward to the road ahead. We continue integrating our applications, also building out the business technology platform. Craig, you said it after the keynote. Like when you saw that we are embedding the HANA tools into a business application studio, it all becomes clear and makes sense. We continue working on eventing to make our extensibility easier, the integration easier, and of course the whole data to value chain, including planning as well, will be priorities. So I'm really looking forward to the next couple of months and quarters, and also I'm already excited about the next decade. However, we will have that hopefully at least as amazing as this one.
All right. Thank you so much, Juergen. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Micha. Thank you, Faye. And thank you, Philip, for your time today. It was great having you back again. And enjoy what is left of TechEd and also everything that comes after TechEd as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Greg.
Bye-bye.
I do like a good Q&A.
You really do.
I do.
It's quite nice. It's quite nice.
So I still have in front of me, I don't know how many questions, hundreds and hundreds of questions. Where can people go now?
If we weren't able to get to your question, rest assured, we will do our best to try. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is by letting you or telling you that you can also go to community.sap.com and you can bring your questions there. Earlier this year in the summer, we had a great opportunity of several community calls with different some of those individuals, like Juergen and Jan, and they did calls, and we're going to do those again. So you'll have every opportunity coming up to bring more questions to the community, and we will do our best to find you answers.
Community call is a great format. I really enjoyed that this summer.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, so we spoke about the DevToberfest the other day.
We did. DevToberfest, 9 weeks, more of a party, more of a celebration, leading all the way up to SAP TechEd. Developers building for developers. It was all open source, and the idea was build a tool that will help your fellow developers out. And I was very excited about this, to see this all happen, all virtual, all online, all GitHub. And we picked, from our side, we picked the 5 that we thought were the top-notch ones, but they're all online, so you can look at all of them. And we then put those 5 into the community. Earlier in the program, we got to see all of the 5 and everything, but we did put them into the community for voting, and the community themselves upvoted their most favorite. And we're going to be joined by them in just a second here. We're going to get to talk to our winners of the DevToberfest. And we have Gregor and Volker, and unfortunately, Mike is not able to join us.
There's Mike in the background.
But we do see that Mike is there with us in spirit, so we wish Mike all the best and hope that everything is okay. So, Gregor, Volker, how are you guys?
Doing good after exciting TechEd.
Yeah.
It was a nice 48 hours.
Yeah, thanks for asking. And shout out to Mike. You know, my kids did an awesome job. I think there you are.
I think that is utterly fantastic.
That is brilliant.
Definitely. I really like that. And it's nice to know that he's here in spirit. We did see the email from him, and he did send you his information that he wants you guys to share as well. So I think we're all covered, and I know he's definitely probably watching. So to kick things off, I will start with you, Gregor, and then right over to you, Volker, and then whichever the two would like to add in Mike's thoughts as well here virtually. What inspired you to even do this? I mean, it's 9 weeks of time devoted, and come to find out you've been doing this longer than 9 weeks. So please tell us.
Actually, yeah, we do. I started the first prototype. So let's first talk about what did we do. So the winner of this year's DevToberfest are proudly we with our project called CDS-PG. It's short for CDS stands for
Or data services.
Oh yeah, core data services used in the cloud application programming model. And PG is so short for Postgres SQL. And Postgres SQL is an open source database, which is also provided by SAP in the meantime now as a hyperscaler service on cloud platform. And it's way more affordable than the HANA. Of course, HANA has its place in the cloud platform, but for the casual applications you want to perhaps provide is go for a much affordable thing. And unfortunately, there was no support in the cloud application program model for this database. So last year I tried it out a little bit, but there was no defined interface. But in spring, I think it was, SAP released version 4 of CAP. And with that, there was now a real database interface provided. And there was a great event organized by Volker Butzek, our recap online conference for the cloud application programming model. And there, SAP already showed a prototype, how to interface to Postgres. And based on that, together with Sebastian van Sickel, Volker, I think we sat down in a programming session and kicked it off.
Yeah, we went into a virtual programming session there, and Sebastian joined in and guided us. And you know, after 1.5 beers and a lot of hacking, the first prototype was born. And that's when we did the commit to GitHub, Gregor, right? And officially announced, well, there's now an adapter for CAP for Postgres. Yeah.
And then we are just over one weekend in, I think was September, October timeframe. We got David Suter, who is also one of the top contributors together with Mike. We saw his fork, and then I reached out to him, hey, you're building great stuff there. Let's join forces. And on Monday, we had really the first working version, even with writing to the database. So Volker, I think we already only had the read access, but now we also had the write access, so full CRUD functionality.
Crazy weekend for sure. Gregor and me were all happy that the stack in itself worked. And then you go off into the weekend, you relax a little, you come back Monday morning, there's a fully working prototype already bolted in a couple of pull requests. And I think this is the weekend that we could consider as CDS PG's birth, so to speak.
That's great.
Can you imagine a weekend? A weekend. They just did this in a weekend.
No, I know we spoke about this a couple of days ago. That's insane that you guys did that so quickly.
and actually not directly. We established the platform. Volker built all the build pipeline stuff. I have a project where we can test with. So also it allows us to test now deployments to different platforms. So SAP Cloud Platform or the technology platform does not only consist of the Cloud Foundry environment, but there's also the Kima environment, and we can also deploy it to there.
Wait, you guys did all of all of that?
Sorry?
You just did all. Our community, amazing, awesome, fantastic.
But thanks also to SAP providing the platform with Devtoberfest, and that is one of the key points that Mike really wants to bring over is it is a platform, it leveled it up, it made it a broader audience recognized it, and so it was possible that others chimed in, and together we really can rock software.
Wonderful.
And you have to also mention that from a technical perspective, after the first prototype was born, the question, of course, came up, how do you deploy content conveniently to the database? And this is where Mike came in with the CDS DBM, the database management module for our Postgres adapter, which allows for Delta deployments to the database. This is another key element, I think, in order to have it as a full package, so to speak. So you can only hook up the database to CAP, but you can also deploy content and redeploy schemas to Postgres in order to have the full picture. there.
Yeah, and basically you can say like the database adapter is the simple part, but actually if you are developing a real business application, you want to add features, you want to add new fields to a table, or you want to have new business objects, then the tricky part is how to evolve your database schema in a way that you don't destroy what is already existing. And that is really Mike rocked that part. I tested it out on the different platforms, and we now also here in this project have a state where you can simply take this package and run a simple command to make the deployer work, first for your local development, but then also for the deployment to the SAP Cloud Platform.
Wonderful. So guys, how does it feel to have been upvoted to winner status here by your fellow community members?
It's really nice to see all the votes going up there. Yeah, of course, we made also some advertising in the different channels we have available, like Twitter. And I thank you also to the whole CAP team, who I think, because the voting was not limited, everyone, also SAP employees could vote. So they really pushed it to the top. But really to mention, I'm also still an ABAP guy. So just today I've made some configuration or a commit to Lars' project, or project of Lars, who was second. And ABAP Git is really the tool. And it would also have deserved to be a winner. But I think with all the publicity we get now, everyone is a winner.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's, I think, something we should really emphasize here as well. There were multiple finalists, but there were also multiple entries into the contest, and the audience they received, the recognition they received, I think, made all of them a winner, because now the entire ecosystem around SAP is aware of those projects, can use them, or even contribute to them. And that's a main point that Devtoberfest achieved. Mm-hmm. And also, I'd like to add that even though we are the, in quotes, winner, I would consider this, in these difficult times, sort of a beacon of light. You know, even difficult times can produce awesome results. And I think CDSPG could serve as such an example.
Mm-hmm. And it hopefully would lead also to others pick up on our example to, like, for example, I saw a request, why isn't there support for ASE as a database for CAP? So take our project, fork from there. You have already working unit tests you can run against your new adapter. Provide the next one.
Great point there, absolutely. The fact that all of this is open source, one, if you have your idea and you want to add another one, then do it. And two, everybody is a winner in this one. And from the community side, I hope you enjoy the little virtual badge that we've given to you both, or to all three of you, Mike included, of course, as our official Devtoberfest winners. So you'll see that next time you log into the community. And of course, yes, Gregor taking his drink.
Yeah,
prepared something.
Yeah, there's this one request, and I think Juergen has talked yesterday with Jodel, and Jodel phrased it perfectly. So he made this transition from an ABAP developer now to a CAP developer. And he had all the excitement, why is it such a great framework? It eases your productivity, and I think SAP should donate this to the broader IT community to ease also their lives, but also to get a broad adoption. And for that, we need CAP as open source, because it's a multi-platform framework. It can run literally everywhere where you can run JavaScript or Node.js, JavaScript, Node.js, and then also Java. And it would be just great to have it open source.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Congratulations again. And we'll see you in the community.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Well, Volker has some wildly talented children there with their artistic talents. I enjoyed that one. Yep, congratulations to all of the finalists, and of course to Volker, to Mike and to Gregor there for that fantastic achievement. And it is a very nice way to end SAP TechEd 2020, or at least our time in this house. And yeah, it has been a roller coaster, an absolute privilege to be here with the rest of the team. But I think you said to me right at the very beginning, normally at the end of an on-site event, you kind of take yourself off into your hotel room and eat ice cream for a day to just kind of come down.
Don't tell my secrets. Just because I told everybody I left a day earlier.
Will you be doing the same this time?
To
decompress, you said.
Yeah, I usually did that to decompress. It was really difficult because there was always that great opportunity to meet everybody. Now I just want to go meet everybody because I can't do it at all. So it's a little crazy, you know. But this has been an unbelievable experience. I'm just on top of the world, and you know, these cards will forever be a souvenir and treasure for me. And I actually even have the very first card. You can see the edges are all worn. This is the very first one that I wrote on. This became the guiding light for me.
Okay, so I'm going to let you close, but I'm just going to say from my side a huge thank you to everybody who's watching. You really made this what it is, and I also want to extend that thank you, of course, to all of the people who put together the sessions, who worked on the slides, who are the track owners. I know there are just so many people. I can't mention them all, but please know that you're appreciated, and everybody made this happen. And of course, thank you to everybody here in this room as well, to everybody in the studio for making it happen. But this isn't about me. I'm going to leave the last words to you.
All I can say is, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, send us your feedback, and let's make 2021 the next big year.
Sounds good. Right, let's go and have a look at the bloopers. Let's go home, it says here. Let's go home and let's look at the bloopers. Bye.
Okay, and now we're back into the kitchen. It's a few floors down and up, like we're constantly running up and down here in this house, so it's really amazing.
We got to get our steps in, you know? I don't think my brain can handle it with all the stuff we have to remember.
What is happening behind me? Look at that wall that is just coming up in just a sec.